Hi class, this is Mr. Olson. The focus of this unit is on community health. In this unit, there are 4 lessons that relate to community health. This lesson will address part 1, core values. For this lesson, you will need a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper in order to take a few notes. Please take a moment to get your materials organized by clicking the pause button. Okay, boys and girls, let's get started. When you see the words community health and core values, what words come to mind? For me, I think of the principles that guide my decisions and behaviors. For you, it might be words like honesty, integrity, and character. Please take a moment and write down some of your ideas on a blank piece of paper. Remember to click the pause button, otherwise this presentation will keep going. Also, remember to bring your notes to class. Measures of the presentation. This presentation will be successful if we can answer the lesson questions clearly and effectively, apply the concepts learned about core values to our lives, and share our knowledge and understanding of core values as well as our experiences with our classmates. Lesson objectives. As a result of listening to this presentation, you will come to understand the following. What are my core values? Where do these core values originate? How do my core values impact our behavior? And how do my core values influence our health? These 4 questions will be answered throughout this presentation. Key term, core values. Core values are defined as those principles that guide our decisions and behaviors. By principles, I mean those things that you consider right or wrong, as well as your beliefs and values. An example is the United States Navy. The Navy has 3 core values: honor, courage, and commitment. Other branches of our military include the Army and Air Force. The Army's core values are loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. You can see that each is defined for you. Finally, the U.S. Air Force has core values of its own, which include integrity, service, and excellence. As you can see from the pictures, there is no right or wrong set of core values, as every branch of our military is different. The same applies to you and your family. As we go through this presentation, I want you to think about and identify what are your core values. Where do our core values originate, or where do they come from? Core values originate from 4 major areas: family, environment, worldview, and life experiences. I am going to describe each one of these in more detail, beginning with family. Oftentimes, our core values stem from our family. That is, how we were raised by our parents or our guardians. For me, my family subscribes to the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This means that we help one another regardless of the task and with no conditions attached. If you look at the center of the slide, you will see a picture that hangs over my garage that illustrates my family's core values. I invite you to ask yourself, what are your core family values? The next area where core values originate is the environment. Examples include school, being a member of a soccer team, and the community in which you live in. The third area where core values originate is worldview. Worldview pertains to how an individual views and interprets the world. In other words, it is your perspective regarding what happens in life and what it means. The final area where core values originate is your life experiences. Life experiences subscribes to the idea of what you experience with respect to your environment on a daily basis. This could be doing well on a test, practicing for a dance competition, or going away for vacation with your parents. The key point I want you to remember is that your core values do not originate or come from one place, but rather many places, and that sometimes these core values change as we get older. How do these core values impact our behaviors? Well, I want you to think about this question from the perspective or the analogy of a staircase. At the bottom of the staircase are your core values. They are the foundation that guide your decision-making processes and your behaviors. As you travel up the staircase, you develop attitudes, which are ways you think or feel about a person, place, or thing. In continuing up the staircase, you will also develop assumptions, which are things that you accept as true, even though you might not have any evidence. This in turn leads the top of the stairs, or our behaviors. Our behaviors are what we say or do. What we say or do affects others, such as our family, friends, and acquaintances. Sometimes our actions are positive, and sometimes they are not. The most important thing to remember is that your behaviors are influenced by your core values, which are also influenced by your attitudes and assumptions. Key term, attitudes. In review, attitudes are defined as ways of thinking or feeling about a person, place, or thing. They can be described as a certain viewpoint or stance on something. Examples include your friends, school, or your favorite pet. As a side note, one of my favorite pets is a golden retriever. Key term, assumptions. Assumptions are defined as something that is accepted or certain, even though no evidence exists. It can be described as something that is taken for granted, or to use a bigger word, a supposition. An example would be going to a Halloween party and assuming that dinner is going to be served, even though the host never communicated that to you. How do core values influence our health? Your core values influence your health in 3 areas: social, mental, and physical. Let's discuss social first. Your core values dictate how you interact with people, such as your friends, teachers, coaches, and even strangers. As you can see from the picture, I refer to social health through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, LinkedIn, and even Snapchat. The reason I highlight social media is that your core values reflect what you say and write on these social media sites. Please be careful about what you say and write because they are a reflection of you and your core values. The next picture relates to mental health. You can see in the picture that mental health refers to many things, such as research, attitude, philosophy, and success. Your core values impact your mental health because they influence how you feel about yourself and the people around you. The final picture pertains to physical health. As you can see, physical health refers to regular physical activity, proper nutrition, and rest. Mrs. Canfield and I tried to positively influence your physical health by instilling in you the core value of lifelong physical activity. Throughout this presentation, we addressed the following questions. What are core values? Where do core values originate? How do core values impact our behaviors? How do these core values influence our social, mental, and physical health? The purpose of answering these questions was to learn more about community health, and specifically our core values. Understanding the concepts behind this lesson will help you now and in the future. Please visit the Schoology webpage and look for the assignment posted online. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me at eolson@freehold.twp.k12.nj.us. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.